today's webinar on oral vanity, makeover of a dental attitude by Dr. Ketki Bokre. She's going to make you discover diva into you, how to brighten your smiles and win the situations. So, to all the gorgeous faces here, a quick guide on how to smile perfectly to create an impact on your personality. Now, I welcome all the dignitaries. I welcome Dr. Dinesh Thakre, President IMA. I welcome Dr. Sandeep Dankhede, Secretary IMA. All the dignitaries of IMA. I welcome Dr. Jagruti Shah ma'am, Chairperson WDW. I welcome Advisory Committee member Dr. Pushpa Thorat ma'am. I welcome all the executive members of WDW, and most important people are our members of WDW. I welcome all of you. Now, I also welcome the people who are not in any of this group. Welcome all. Now I invite Dr. Vaishali Thakre to introduce our eminent speaker, Dr. Ketki Bokre. Over to you, Dr. Vaishali.
Good evening, all. I'm very happy to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Ketki Karele Bhogre, working as an AP in Dental College, Amravati. Ketki is a vanity full of versatile different activities and a beautiful smile. For her, her profession is like a wonderland, and she Alice in that wonderland, which is full of researches, new experiences, and new feelings each day. Dr. Ketki Karele Bhogre, oral and maxillofacial pathologist, is an oral oncopathologist by profession and a storyteller by heart. She is a founder director of Dent Opath Oral Pathology and Research Center. She has 30 national and international publications in her credit. National Award winner of the Most Commendable Editor-in-Chief of 2020, she also holds the position of Editor-in-Chief of her specialty journal at Innovative Publications and is also on the editorial and reviewer panel of many journals. An author of 2 books on oral health and forensic odontology. Apart from scientific papers, her passion for storytelling has made her start her own blogging website for pathology fun learning. She had an opportunity to be an international speaker of Breast Cancer Congress in Spain and UAE. With all these identities, her most preferred one is that she is a proud mother of 2-year-old son Amartya, who she feels is her biggest blessing, and has started a site named Cherries and Blossom for toddlers. One of her books, The Goodie Bag, has been awarded a 5-star rating on the online marketing platforms. We welcome you, Ketki, and now you can proceed.
खूप छान केतकी, हे सगळं ऐकून खूप छान वाटलं.
थँक यू सर.
अवॉर्ड्स वगैरे, ऑथर वगैरे, आता खूप छान.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Vaishali ma'am, for such a nice introduction. I'm really overwhelmed. And good evening to all the dignitaries, to all the eminent personalities here, to all my senior colleagues who have taken out time for watching me and my seminar, and to all my colleagues. So good evening all, and thank you once again. Well, I want to begin my presentation first by, extending my deepest gratitude to all the frontline workers, all women and men out here. You're amazing, doing heroic tasks of extending services in these times of, health calamities. Also, you are there as frontline workers. So salute to all the COVID warriors, first of all. I would like to share my screen now. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's begin the topic for today, that is oral vanity. So why this topic in particular is, because I felt that when I was told that you are supposed to talk something regarding oral hygiene or oral health, I couldn't think of any one particular parameter in which I can proceed with the, my topic. Oral cavity in itself is a multi-dimensional thing. It has got effect on every system literally of our body. So I thought just let's explore, the magic the magic connection between the oral and general health. And one more purpose for this topic itself is, in last few months, we all have been watching, dealing, treating, diagnosing certain very unpleasant cases, certain disfigurements which are caused because of post-COVID complications, the fungal infections, etc. So it's a great agony for the patient as well as treating a physician to, go and watch and treat such cases. So I just thought of making it a lighter note. Let us explore the beauty this amazing oral cavity has, in today's presentation. So these photographs are especially for the amazing, gorgeous women out there. And on this platform, I don't think, undoubtedly, everyone wants such sparkles on their faces, right? Everyone wants those 32 pearls to look like that. So, but I would like to say that this is not an easy task, because such beautiful smiles are created by complete state of health. Health, not just dental health, but also mental health. Okay, because when these celebrities were themselves interviewed that aapki in hasi ka raaz kya hai, so everyone said that hum dil se haste hai. So I would like to say dental and mental health, there has to be a proper blend and a proper balance, because I personally like teeth as organs, because they are genuine champs. Okay, no hack can work when it comes to your dental appearance. Like one can fix the nose. If you want a straight nose, you can just apply a bit of more concealer and get that pointy straight nose. One can actually go and make those sensuous eyes look that magical by applying a bit of artificial lashes, etc. One can have good amount of nice pout when it comes to applying good lipsticks and lip liners. But when it comes to oral health or dental health, nothing can compromise. You have to work on them every day to get that gorgeous smile. Otherwise, on wedding day also, if you have got stained teeth, they will appear like stained teeth. Till then, I don't think there is a instant hack or instant makeup for your teeth. Okay, so that is why I have just, just quoted 2 lines that no lipstick, no mascara can lift your face up. If you have those stains, sipping coffee from Irish cup. So may any expensive makeup you buy, but nothing can actually compromise on good oral health. So coming back to the divas, I would like to say that especially the women, also the men, but today we are talking on the platform of women beings. So no women today is actually, arrested in that 4 walls of the house. Every woman has got exposure to the outside world. May that be professional exposure in the form of dealing with clients, dealing with corporates, handling patients, okay, or may it be some big fat ceremonies, a party of a friend, or may it be simply a selfie that has to be posted on Instagrams and FBs. Every time you are exposed to the complete world, and hence I think those curves on your face are an asset to lift your face value, to add that magic touch to your persona, because first impression in many cases is the last impression. Also, I think when 10 most influential women entrepreneurs were being interviewed, so they had told that it is just not your portfolios which needs to be bright, but you need to smile, in a perfect way that will actually win you the hearts. So while going through many articles, I just came across this very interesting article from Times of India, where Dr. Sandesh Maekar, He is the man behind creating all those pageant smile for Femina, Miss India, Miss World contestants every year. So he had given these steps, which I have put in the form of a chart, to smile right. Because many of us, are doing all the stage shows and etc. every year in IMAs and IDAs. I just thought that it would be helpful that the steps involve right from relaxing your neck muscles, your face muscles, to proper alignment of your upper teeth to your lower lipstick line and everything. So this is these are the steps which actually give you that natural look and that close-up smile to win audience, whatever your target audience may be. Yeah. Now talking about the corporates, when I am handling certain corporate clients in my company, I got to know a very interesting factor, that when some HRs of some multinational companies, they hire a candidate for their company, we all know that personality or body language does matter a lot. Okay, but I got to know that face mapping is a very integral part of your personality, and that tells a lot about a person. May it be the confidence or the consciousness or whatever is depicted on your face, but oral cavity being a very, very integral part of your face also gives a lot of clues regarding you as a person. Okay, so the mystery box, which I label it, actually reveals many true colors of the character. So how do they reveal me? There are certain, anatomical characters such as some round or sharp cusps of certain teeth, which may give a clue regarding your aggressive, powerful or passive personality, to, those worn out cusps due to grinding and stress anxiety, or those stains on the teeth, which denotes the habit of an individual, or may it be just the tartar teeth that actually gives that how motivated and careful are you as a person. So they do have certain points on the dental characteristics of a person. So I would like to say that next time if you want to, you want to get hired, make sure that your teeth are clear, okay? So these are certain just anatomical pictures. But now, apart from all these aesthetic considerations, now teeth are an asset, and the list I can go on and on and on regarding the asset value of the teeth. But apart from that, the true value of your vanity begins from how beautiful or how good and healthy are you from inside, right? So similarly, even oral cavity has got much broader repercussions, because it's just not how it appears, it is also that how it is interconnected to all our visceral organs. Because the nature has designed our body, I think every one of us will agree, in such a well coordinated and organized manner that structures those are formed first, like the heart and the neural tubes, they have connections with all others. Similarly, even our mouth and teeth are also formed at very early stages of gestation. So their interconnections with all the visceral organs also cannot be denied. So hence, the oral cavity and its imbalance effects on other parts is really a serious affair. Yeah. So now, being a fiction story writer, I find fiction as well as story in all the organs and all the processes of the body. Okay, so I often introduce oral cavity as a kingdom. Okay, and kingdom which is having 32 very, very efficient princesses in the form of 32 teeth, which are responsible for providing right nutrition to the body. Then, like every kingdom has got two strong gates, we also have got two strong jaws as gatekeepers, which not only provides support and balance to this kingdom and the body as a whole, but are also responsible for providing proper oxygenation, etc., to the brain and other parts. Then we do have a magic creature called as tongue, which is having superpowers with it, including those of taste and speech. And then I feel that there is a hidden treasure in this kingdom, and I'm always very fascinated by this. Those are the pulpal and the periodontal stem cells, which are having high potency for many treatment of many debilitating diseases these days, also for organ regeneration, etc. And most importantly, we have 700 plus species of local citizens, the microbes, which are the local commensals of that oral cavity, which if they live in harmony, well and good. Otherwise, we will see the repercussions for it. So it is a nice, blend and organization, a very nice and strong kingdom. But as occurs with, with every story, as occurs with every story, there is some devil or some witch which gives a spell to the overall kingdom, and there is destruction started. So similarly, if everything is in harmony, there is good and well-being inside the body. But if the once poor oral hygiene starts to change the microflora of our oral cavity, then the destruction starts. So first, this destruction occurs at the local level, causing all toothaches, to bad breath, to periodontal diseases, dry mouth, etc. And then if these things are not taken care of at local level, they cause global problems, which includes effect on visceral organs such as heart, such as lungs, such as kidneys, and all those. So this list also can be extended, and it can also go long and long. I have just tried to incorporate certain systems which are extremely important. So now, coming to the butterfly effect of oral hygiene on the body. So first of all, what is the butterfly effect? So people out here who have read Rhonda Byrne's The Secret can actually visualize this concept, that butterfly effect is the effect that even one single person can have on universe by the medium of his thoughts. Okay, if you replicate negative thoughts, universe will give back negative. If it is positive, universe will give back positive. So that's a butterfly effect, that even one person is capable of extending so much to the universe. So this butterfly effect is also observed on oral cavity. That is, local oral cavity and local flora of the oral cavity has got on whole universe of our body. Every system probably has effect. It is not just the physical thing, also psychologically there is an impact. There is an impact on overall metabolism and all the other physiological processes. There is an effect on even the posturology, that the posture, the gait, the focus, everything of a person is interdependent upon the oral cavity, the occlusion, etc. So I would elaborate it in my coming slides. So first come first, I would like to just say that as we are talking about vanity, so another important organ that is involved in our vanity is the skin. Okay, and it's really surprising that that pimple which just doesn't go off by using all the gharelu nuskas and all the expensive skincare products can be due to poor oral hygiene. Yes, especially the pimples around the cheek region, the chin, the lips, those clusters of pimples, they are probably due to seeding of bacteria from your oral cavity. So what happens is, whenever we brush our teeth, or maybe when there is a lot of deposition of dental plaque, these bacteria tend to get dislodged and they get seeded into the mucosa of the surrounding organs, which then cause infection over there. So our ancient researchers, our dadis and nanis used to always tell us that clean your face thoroughly after brushing your teeth. So that this is very important when it comes to avoiding all the pimple due to oral seeding of bacteria. The order matters: brushing our teeth and then cleaning our face thoroughly. So that is how one can prevent pimples. Next is a very, very established topic in research, but I don't know in practicality how much do we actually follow. That yes, oral health has got a lot to do with pregnancy. Pregnancy is such a thing wherein whole body gets vulnerable. Okay, so oral cavity is not an exception to this. Even the commensal bacteria of the oral cavity changes during pregnancy. The hormonal influence that is present is so much that even the smallest of the toxins and smallest of the bacterial attacks give over exaggerated responses there. Hence, when it was observed in certain studies, recent studies of about May 2019 have shown that there is about 26.8% cases of mild periodontitis, and about all the cases of moderate and severe periodontitis, patients had shown to have preterm births. And more so, about 34.1% cases with mild periodontitis, and all the cases with moderate and severe periodontitis in their study had showed, low birth weight infants. So how is this, linked? The pathogenesis for it is, as we all know, that the microbial attacks, they liberate certain cytokines and inflammatory mediators, and these especially of interleukin class and tumor necrosis factors. What do? They actually cross the placenta and they inhibit the growth factors that are present in the amniotic fluid, and hence this has given rise to stunted growth and even low birth weight infants. And the prostaglandins, which are having a great effect on the myometrial contractility and they are known to stimulate the preterm labor, are also very much prevalent, especially in gram-negative bacteria. So when it was studied, so the amniotic fluid and even the serum fluid of the patients with periodontitis was really high when it comes to establishing the link. As well as there are certain genetic polymorphisms also, which these microbes are known to cause, which also can affect the growth of the fetus. I'm really sorry for the screen share. Just a minute. So next system, as the slide begin, we will come to know, is the cardiovascular system. Okay, so it is known that this oral bacteria, they are causing a lot of bacteremia. Even at low concentrations, they are known to cause bacteremia in all the major arteries that are supplying the heart. So all that can cause lot of clogging in the blood vessels, sluggish blood flow, and according to American Dental Association, they have shown that even people without.
Shall I start sharing? Shall I do it for you?
Yeah, ma'am. If it is possible, I think it is the laptop is hanged basically.
Okay, yeah.
This is the one. Stop sharing.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. Thank you, ma'am. So according to ADA, as we were talking, that cardiovascular conditions such as atherosclerosis and stroke, they have also been linked to inflammation that is caused by oral bacteria. And they have said that it's not that you should have a prevalent periodontitis and all those bleeding gums, but even if you have good amount of plaque and biofilm, which is not even visible to your eyes, still there are chances of increase in C-reactive proteins, which are one of the risk factors for heart attack and strokes. Moreover, especially in patients with artificial valves, heart valves, these bacteria are known to have special affinity towards the prosthetic structures. So they go and clog there, causing a bacterial endocarditis in many of the cases with implants. So this is how one must be very cautious regarding oral hygiene, especially patients with comorbidities. It is not that everyone should have those periodontal plaques, but even a proper oral hygiene, if not followed, simple bacteria from dental plaque can also get that potential of causing a lot of harm. Coming to oral health and diabetes, I would like to say that oral health and diabetes is a vicious cycle. Like if at all, now oral cavity is the first and the foremost thing where the digestion and breakdown of the food molecules take place, as we all know. So whatever sugar processing is there, that is started by amylase and etc. inside the oral cavity. So it has been observed in many studies, and a known fact too, that patients with diabetes, if they are not having good oral hygiene, their overall sugar imbalance is a lot there. Okay, and even the HbA1c values of people, those who are practicing good oral hygiene is always better than those who are not practicing good oral hygiene. And inversely, it is the reverse also, that people, those who are diabetic, are known to suffer from great periodontal loss, bone loss, and thereby there is lot of disharmony in the oral cavity itself. So diabetes takes toll on the oral cavity, and reversely, oral cavity also takes toll on your overall sugar levels of the body. So it is mandatory for every diabetic to have a family dentist, like a family physician, so as to compensate for all the harm that is caused by the tooth. Okay, so these are certain signs and symptoms that diabetes is really taking toll on your overall health, and hence it is important that you should visit a dentist. Coming to oral health and neurodegenerative diseases, actually this oral health and its implication on central nervous system is not a very much explored thing right now, but a very, very interesting study that has been done in UCLan in UK University. I just found this article and hence thought of putting the screenshot of it from Medical News today. That in the university, what did they do? They examined 10 brains, autopsied brains from patients suffering with dementia, and all those 10 brains had Porphyromonas gingivalis. Now this Porphyromonas gingivalis, as the name itself suggests, it is a predominant commensal bacteria which resides into the gums, into the gingiva, and it is known to play so much of role in degeneration of neurons. Okay, this bacteria is capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier, creating so much of inflammation to cause demyelination of the nerve fibers, at the same time which causes apoptosis and necrosis of the neuronal structures. So they have, in this study, ultimately concluded that patients with poor oral hygiene or gum diseases could be at a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's compared with those who had healthy teeth. Okay, so relation of periodontal disease and Alzheimer's disease and dementia can also further be extended to the inflammatory theory, wherein they have said that the oral microbes, not only from the periodontal apparatus or the gingiva, but also from the periapical regions. Okay, the gram-negative bacteria from the endodontic lesions, that means after cavity when the infection goes to the root canal, and then there is formation of granulomas and cysts. So bacteria from there, they are known to precipitate beta amyloid, and this beta amyloid along with all other cytokines that the bacteria secrete, they are known to cause peripheral inflammatory processes also. Moreover, it is also said that, along with all these factors, Alzheimer's disease and periodontal disease, they have some genetic, polymorphisms for the genes that encode for interleukin 6 and other cytokines. So there is some genetic basis for the two diseases to take place. Along with that, when it comes to practical factors, so patients suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia cannot take care of their own oral health. Hence, there is more periodontal problems, more tooth loss, more cavities, etc. in such patients, due to which the overall mastication and nutrient supply also goes down, due to which, there is less of this blood perfusion and nutrient supply to the brain. And again, a recent study from Dental Journal of Basel have quoted that the dental apparatus is involved with the proprioceptive mechanisms. So when this proprioception, there is loss of this proprioception, it was found in mouse models that there were lesser number of pyramidal cell in the hippocampus, and the intelligence of that person was anyways low. So hence, oral cavity has got connection till there. Okay. Now coming to this oral no tobacco day or World No Tobacco Day, I want to say that one must not only blame tobacco. Of course, tobacco and its products are the primary cause of oral cancer and all that. But along with that, maintenance of good oral hygiene is inevitable, because as we know, these oral bacteria are extremely notorious. Okay, they are not going to do everything by themselves, but yes, they are known to bring the worst out of the worst. That means they are known to precipitate the carcinogens from tobacco and alcohol, and they speedily they start causing all those dysplastic changes, etc. So how do they do that? So basically, just not precipitation of carcinogens from the carcinogenic agents, but also they are known to cause distant cancers also, especially the stomach cancer. It is highly linked to the presence of oral bacteria. Okay, the H. pylori is the culprit bacteria which is known till date. It is so much established regarding H. pylori that WHO has recently certified H. pylori as a carcinogenic microbe. It causes oral cancer as well as stomach cancer by causing atrophy of the epithelium, such as oral cavity as well as gastric epithelium, inflammation, which is a very, very potent pathogenesis for cancer, and also dysplastic changes in the mucosa. So these are how, certain mechanisms which leads to cancer formation, cancer progression too. Like there are three mechanisms which are established right now. First is chronic inflammation, as we have seen already. Second is the anti-apoptotic activity. It signals the cell to grow, but it anti-apoptotic will arrest the cell death, as we all know. And third are the precipitation of the carcinogenic substances, which we have already spoken about. So as I was saying that, why just blame tobacco? Because tobacco products are known to produce this nitric oxide, which causes all those DNA mutations. So similarly, even oral microbial organisms or bacterial infection, they are also known to cause increase in the nitric oxide levels inside the cell and COX-2 productions, which are important for this DNA mutagenesis, and ultimately it leads to promotion and progression of cancer. So both share somewhat similar things, and hence oral microbial infection has got a very strong synergistic effect for alcohol and tobacco products. Coming to oral health and lung health, so this topic is much into picture these days, and every other person, medico, non-medico, every person knows that how much important is our lung health. So I would like to really put it in inverted commas that oral cavity bacteria has got a huge effect on our overall lung health, especially when the lungs are in comorbid conditions. Already due to pneumonias, due to COPDs, pulmonary actinomycosis, and acute bronchitis. These are certain comorbid conditions which are absolutely known to be triggered by the oral bacteria. Okay, because we aspirate around thousands of bacteria daily, and which can get attached to the already inflamed lungs and cause a lot of secondary infections and worsen the conditions. So oral health impact on COVID-19. So presentation cannot get completed, without saying this. So this oral microbiome and oral microbial flora, when was explored in much depth, it was seen that it was found to be, even the viral load of patients who were not performing good oral hygiene was found to be more, because like our respiratory tract and our nasal mucosa, etc., have got those ACE2 receptors. Similarly, even oral cavity and salivary gland have got similar number of ACE2 receptors, which are known to bind the viral particles and multiply also. Also, other bacteria which include these Porphyromonas gingivalis, Fusobacterium, Prevotella, all these bacteria are known to cause super infections, as we have already known. Hence, when it was presented in many newspapers that 50% of the patients who died from COVID-19, they actually had certain secondary infections, which are for which in general bacteremia is responsible. And around 80% of COVID-19 patients, those who were present in ICU, they also showed excess amount of bacteria than virus. So it is having a dual role to play, also multiplication of virus and increase in the viral load and causing super infections. So even hospitalized patients and patients on ventilators, the ventilator associated pneumonia was also found to be in more in patients with oral diseases, and hence this oral hygiene procedures, especially in hospitalized patients, has to be followed meticulously. So talking about oral hygiene, how is what are the perfect methods of performing the oral hygiene? Okay, they are very important. There are just 6 steps or 6 methods which are enough for a good oral healthy mouth. Those are: first, brushing of teeth regularly, following proper diet, rinsing with mouthwashes, flossing teeth, interdental cleaning, and regular dental checkups. So how brushing of teeth, how is the real perfect method for it? So we actually use modified Bass technique for proper brushing, in which the toothbrush is held at 45-degree angulations, and not just the tooth has to be covered, but also the gum portion, so that it provides a gum massage to increase the flow of crevicular fluid, which is a defense fluid against all the bacterial attacks and gum diseases. And then there has to be thorough cleaning from inside out. It's just not the surface cleaning, but also the inner surfaces, which carry a lot of biofilm. And of course, coming to the tongue cleaning part, we do have specialized tongue cleaners. We have interdental flosses wherein bacteria tend to hide because routinely we don't clean them. So nowadays everybody is going towards the natural remedies and Ayurveda sort of thing. I got this good article about how naturally also you can have a good prevention on building up of all dental plaques. So oil pulling is a very good method which is nowadays explored, in which one has to take 1 tablespoon of oil, squish it around your oral cavity, and then spit it out, okay, and then brush the teeth according to the method described. Now, oil pulling method is being effectively used against all kinds of oral ulcers, etc., which are also due to bacterial infections inside the oral cavity. Along with that, this oil pulling tends to dislodge the bacteria from the teeth. They are having a firm grip over the teeth and gums, and then thorough brushing will wipe them out completely. Along with that, if you use good amount of green tea or peppermint oil or essence, this is a great helper for preventing bad breath or odor. So I think this is a very good method to give it a try. This chart I have made for, especially for maintaining oral hygiene protocols for patients who are under COVID treatment or who have just recovered from COVID, patients, those who have gum diseases and healthy individual both. So this protocol suggests that, if you are a COVID positive right now, or you have just recovered from COVID, then one should actually go for zinc and fluoride containing toothpaste, okay, chlorhexidine mouthwashes, who are known to have efficacy about 99% against the COVID viruses as well as bacteria. Flossing protocols and every other thing is being displayed. So I had requested even Usha ma'am to circulate this chart among all the attendees of today's webinar, those which can help actually people with COVID and even post-COVID.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So let us strike the right balance between the oral health and general health. And with this quote, I would like to say that not just, as I have already spoken about the butterfly effect, so it is not just the physiology or physical thing or pathological thing that is getting affected, but oral cavity and its occlusion, its all traits are very much important for the posturology also, for maintaining proper gait, for maintaining proper posture. Like it is known that this is the perfect occlusion, which we call as class 1 occlusion, wherein maxilla is 2 mm in front of the mandible. Okay, so this is the perfect occlusion and the person is, the weight of the person is evenly balanced, and hence the patient has a good posture and a good gait. Whereas if you see this class 2 malocclusion, wherein a maxilla is like, more than 2 mm in front of the mandible, patient the person tends to lean forward. Class 3, wherein mandible is positioned in front of the maxilla, therein the person tends to lean backward. It is because of the weight imbalance that is created, and we cannot even imagine that this can be the the etiological factor for such a gait or such personality of an individual. Along with the problem in the posture, dental malocclusion in severe cases can also cause problem with focus. Focus or concentration. A person with dental occlusion and TMJ deformities are known to focus less as compared to those who are having proper occlusion. So if there are certain things which you observe as physician, so it is the time to get your teeth orthodontically treated in patients that you actually examine on daily basis. And having said that, I have just came across a very interesting story of Annie Bryant, who have won a gold medal in Winter Olympic Games of 1992. So she, right from her, very small age, she was very much passionate about shooting. And she used to practice around 10 hours odd for, just getting her target right. But whenever she used to attempt in games, whatever local or regional or national level even, she used to always, be 2 or 3 shot less than her competitors, although her practice was not the problem. So once, for participating in certain big brand games, she went to her dentist where she wanted just a splint. And looking at her nervous face, the dentist asked her that what is the problem, what is holding you back, your preparation is absolutely fine. So she said, although I prepare a lot, although I practice a lot, still I cannot perform that well as my competitors do, because I don't know, I cannot focus. So dentist just gave it a shot. He gave her some myofunctional correction and some treatment for about 1 year. And when then she participated in Olympic Games, she could actually won gold medal. So this was just not a coincidence, because on Google also you can get this story that when she was asked about her success secret, she actually gave it to her dentist and said that after dental malocclusion correction, everything really changed for her. So I think this is how the interrelationships between various organs of our body must be there. One of these factors is, the oral cavity and all the systems that are, surrounded by it. And actually, we have to promote this makeover of dental attitude among everyone who we meet. So thank you once again for the patient listening. I thank you to the organizers, Dr. Dinesh sir, Dr. Jagriti ma'am, Dr. Usha ma'am, my dear friend. She's not my friend, she's like my family, Dr. Tasre ma'am. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope everyone has found something interesting in my lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ketki. You were awesome.
Thank you, ma'am.
And we actually got a lot from your talk. We never thought that this could be such an important issue. We really should admire you, dentist, not for for your treatment part. We should really visit very frequently and get some tips, tips from all you. So thank you very much.
Trouble her many times to give more lectures. She has a lot of many things to speak on.
That's so nice of you, everyone who have taken out time. Thank you so much.
Ketki खूप छान बोलली. खूपच छान बोलली.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ketki.
I invite Jagriti madam for some comments and remarks.
Congratulations, Ketki. It
Thank
was
you
such
so
a
much.
elaborative, such a lucid talk, I liked it a lot. Initially, I was wondering, this is a oral vanity bag. So, oral vanity. So, we have vanity bag, we have so many things, and that also we replace time to time, like when it expires or when it is not good, we replace it. But this vanity is such an important bag, and you have enlightened us so well. So I'm
Thank
really
you
thankful
so
to you. And
Thank you.
especially Ketki, what I liked, though we know all the organs are very, very important and we look at all the other organs very deeply, but not to the oral cavity.
Yes,
Unless
ma'am,
until we get something very bad, till that time we don't take care. So
Yes,
this is a very important topic I think you have taken today. And one more thing which I liked a lot was about neurodegenerative disease and
Yes,
its
ma'am.
correlation. Yeah,
Yes,
that was very, very
actually,
important.
ma'am, it's like we dentists also now don't give that much of attention towards all these topics. So that's why we also found. I mean, when I was searching, I found so much literature on neurodegenerative. Even I was very surprised. So through
Yes,
this,
yes.
through this platform, even I got to study so many things about it.
So it is something like which I like specifically, because the oral
Yes,
checkup, dental care, everything, though it is well known, but apart from that, the
Yeah, it is
healthy
known.
lung.
Yes.
Apart from that, healthy lung, healthy oral cavity, avoiding the infections, keeping all the microorganisms to the lowest level, like to the healthy level. Then
Yeah.
so many connections of tobacco, microorganism, along with cancer. Everything is important. Everything is.
Yes, ma'am. Only certain things are hyped, ma'am. Like tobacco, of course, we cannot deny.
Yeah.
But there are certain routine things. Like I am very surprised that in COVID, the things which we weren't doing, like taking steam, inhalation daily, etc., we were not doing. But we actually opted for it. But the age-old things of proper brushing, we don't do. So that is really surprising, I feel.
Absolutely correct. And one more thing, you talked about the oral, that oiling,
Oil pulling, yes.
oil pulling.
Yeah, yeah.
Oil gurgles, no? Which oil we must be doing that? Till oil or what?
Ma'am, even coconut oil is fine. Because we cannot always get access to all those peppermint oil, etc. But if you use that, so all that bad odor and all halitosis, etc., those problems, we feel fresh basically. But simple coconut oil can also be used. It is really good and effective.
Other alternatives: till oil, coconut oil, and one more, peppermint oil.
Peppermint oil, olive oil.
Olive oil.
Yeah,
is it to be diluted or to be taken directly?
No. You can take directly. No harm in that. Just shouldn't go inside. One has to spit it out.
Yeah. Gargles only.
Yeah.
Anything else which you advocate to all of us? Apart from
I personally, oil pulling. I personally, just want to advocate this use of chlorhexidine mouthwashes. Actually, it's really a small procedure. It takes hardly few minutes, but we don't do it on regular basis. Mouthwash is a very good a medium by which we can have that balanced level of microbes. 99% efficacy, ma'am, even against COVID or COVID virions, especially, it was observed in 1 or 2 patients who took consultation, that even after their quarantine period, when they went for a negative RT-PCR test, their symptoms had gone. Their physician has, just gave them green signal, but their RT-PCR was coming positive again and again. So it was because of the dead virions, which were not getting clear anyways, because our teeth are non-shading surfaces. So they have that colonization of dead particles, live viruses, everything. So chlorhexidine has got a very good efficacy against that.
Very nice, very informative. Once again, congratulations and thank you so much.
Once again.
Over to Usha.
Yeah, anyone else would like to share their experiences or comments? Thakre sir, Sandeep sir?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Any specific instructions regarding the mask hygiene and the oral hygiene?
Yes, sir. That is a very good question, because I always feel that we take a lot of care when we apply the mask, etc. But when it comes to the oral cavity, we don't routinely see it. So masks has to be washed regularly, because we tend to talk with our mask on. So all that all the pores in the mask gets clogged by the oral bacteria at times. So just avoid using repeated use of the mask, or just wash, and properly maintenance of proper washing techniques, etc., is very important. That is one of the reason for even mucormycosis to take place, because improper maintenance of your masks.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Flossing, somebody had asked tips for flossing. Actually, dental floss are ready-made available in the medical shops. They're very convenient to use. So flossing once daily between the tooth, they have a handle, small handle, and waxed or unwaxed flosses are there. Okay, so you can use any of them, and just clean interdentally with not very harsh strokes. They have to be light strokes to begin with, and then you can just be a perfectionist in flossing also. So get those dental floss which are very convenient to use from your local chemist, and floss once daily. These bacteria tend to find shelter among the interdental areas which are not very much accessible for our dental brushes. So we have to pull out the microbes from all those areas. So floss is great in that.
Yes.
Frankly speaking, we talk about flossing, but if you ask all the attendees, I don't I am sure
Yes.
more than 80% must not be flossing their teeth, because I think we were never taught about this. Even twice a brushing is what we expect them the maximum we should do. I think flossing is the something which we should really tell the education department that they should include in the academics of the school, so that we get that habit right from the childhood. I think that is really very important.
Yes. I think IMA can only take up these things and get all the school students, etc. Because this drive, even IDA for that matter, this drive is extremely important. I think promotion is weak. When it comes to dental hygiene, we promote hand hygiene, we are promoting cough hygiene. People are following, but when it comes to oral hygiene, I think we lag behind in promoting things.
Meenal, are you there? Meenal? Okay, if she's not there, it's okay. Yeah,
One more question, Ketki, I wanted to ask you.
Yes,
उषा मी आहे इथेच.
बर, ठीक आहे.
Hello, Ketki.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
One more thing. For sensitive tooth, can anyone use this sensitive fluoride toothpaste for a longer period, or they should be using intermittently?
No, ma'am. Fluoride toothpastes can be used. There is no problem with them. And actually, there are certain pastes like Shy-NM or Sensodyne, which are anti-sensitivity pastes. Those can also be like applied like, dental creams, put for 5 minutes, then go wash your teeth and use regular fluoridated toothpaste. That's fine.
आजीला सांग मी करते फोन मला फोन.
Yeah. And about tooth whitening?
Yes, tooth whitening, ma'am, it's there are two processes. One is at home, one is in office. Processes for bleaching, we call it as bleaching. But they tend to actually inculcate some kind of sensitivity in the teeth. So regular bleaching, although is not recommended, but one can go for occasional bleaching and then maintain that position of your dental or oral cavity for a longer time. But often, like regular bleaching is not recommended, ma'am, actually.
It will dissolve the enamel, is it?
Yes, it wears off the surface enamel. But nowadays, many sophisticated methods are coming in. We do have we do have many good products. But yeah, occasional bleaching can be done, but then regular maintenance of oral hygiene will also be enough after that.
I want to to your comments on use of toothpaste and tooth powder. So some people, they don't like toothpaste; they want to use tooth powder. What do you will advise?
No, sir. Actually, toothpastes are better because the abrasive content is taken care of when one use toothpaste. Because whatever toothpastes or tooth powders we are using, they for cleaning things they have some abrasion on our tooth surfaces. So some amount of tooth surface enamel and all gets abraded with time. So in toothpaste, the abrasive index is lesser as compared to the tooth powders.
Yeah, I think.
Correct.
Meenal, was there any? You went for some pageant.
Huh.
So was there any specific questions you want to ask to Ketki?
She's a neighbor.
No, ma'am. For pageanting, I found, when I got that article of Sandesh Mahikar, the first come first thought came was I am a beauty pageants only in my mind also. It's a great event and everybody looks like a celebrity there. So I just thought of putting that slide for all of you.
No, not that way. Not that way. We saw some videos some time back. And there were some lectures of dentist also there. So that's why I asked for whether was there anything like.
Ma'am, there is something known as an ideal smile, and what they say is that your smile should show, just the half portion of premolars. That is what is the ideal smile. I have also seen it sometime, but the slide which I showed, so that is how the contestant from beauty pageants are trained. Like they have various spots to stand. Like first they are behind the stage, then they go one step ahead on the stage, then they go one step ahead and they walk the ramp. So every spot they have got to expose a bit of the characteristics of their smile, maybe the corners of their mouth, how to make them more horizontal. Then the upper incisors should be in line with the lower lip, lower lipstick line, and all those are certain training points for all the contestants on various spots.
So we got everything from you, Dr. Ketki, from anatomy, physiology to everything. So we are
beauty.
We are
Ketki, should I ask you one more question? Ketki.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Usually we use a toothbrush, softer one. Sometimes we have started using that machine brush also.
Yeah, electronic
the one
brush.
which is vibrator kind of. But
Yes.
I personally think that putting lot of pressure over the tooth with that brush is more, I think.
With electronic
Other than
brushes, ma'am.
conventional, that electronic one. Conventional
Yes,
one
yes.
is a little more better. What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. Electronic brushes are not given actually not recommended in every case. There are certain special cases. Otherwise, manual toothbrushing is enough. But the thing is that we should use the brush in a proper way. Like vertical strokes are,
Vertical.
are what are recommended. Yes, horizontal strokes are not to be done. And then, as I told that you have to also include the part of the crevices or the gums of the teeth in the modified bars technique. 45-degree angulation is to be maintained, because that is how you're giving a smooth massage to your gingiva also, so that it liberates more of the fluid that is responsible for maintaining all the health of the oral cavity. The defense mechanism is activated, ma'am.
Very true.
Manual toothbrushing is it's perfectly fine if you do it in a proper way.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So it was a perfect talk, Dr. Ketki.
Thank you, ma'am. Glad you all liked it. So I'm very happy about it.
Now I invite, if no questions, I invite Dr. Trupti Dankade for a vote of thanks. Dr. Trupti.
Trupti, you are not audible.
Mute.
beautiful and cherished evening to all of you. It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks and acknowledge the efforts of our guest speaker and IMA WTW team for today's webinar. On behalf of IMA WTW Amravati, I am very glad to thank our vivacious and charming guest speaker, Dr. Ketki Kalele, for her skillful presentation. Dr. Ketki, you are very good with your subject and words. The name of your today's topic, Oral Vanity, Makeover of Dental Attitude, was so captivating that we were eagerly waiting for your presentation. And you did great justice to the topic.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
We are very much grateful to our IMA President, Dr. Dinesh Thakre sir, Secretary Dr. Sandeep Dankhede, for their constant support, guidance, and their presence throughout the activity. Thank you, both of you. My heartfelt thanks to our beloved Chairperson, Dr. Jagruti Shah Madam, Secretary Dr. Gajbia Madam for arranging such beautiful webinars and insightful webinars. Right from the start of their tenure, both of them are meticulously and harmoniously arranging such activities and executing it so well. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, dear Vaishali, for suggesting Dr. Ketki's name, approaching her, and connecting her with us for today's webinar. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Sangeeta Kadu Madam, Dr. Dafle Madam, Dr. Jyoti Agrawal Madam, Dr. Thorat Madam, Dr. Zamthe Madam, Dr. Shruti Khandelwal, Dr. Trupti Zawade, Dr. Abha Lahuti Madam, Dr. Asha Harwani Madam, Dr. Neeta Vyavare and Dr. Sunita Chaudhary for their valuable inputs and suggestions. My great appreciation to all the attendees, all the senior members of today's webinar for their gracious presence. Thank you once again. Thank you very much. Over to you, Usha Madam.
Yeah, thank you, Trupti. Very nice explanation of our heartfelt thanks to Ketki and everyone else. I'm really happy that Vaishali suggested Dr. Ketki's name for today's webinar. We were really got well versed with the dental care and what are the